see at the end how many people are really for marriage and how many people have handed in towels. Otherwise, it's a live chat. Drop in the comment section your thoughts and I'll read them. And let us see what you think about marriage, the good, the bad, and the honest, because there is some truth about marriage. Let's hear some real life stories. Earlier this week, I asked a random stranger about their marriage, the good and the bad. And this is what the stranger said about happy couples. He said, "We've been married for." This is a stranger who had a happy couple. They were a happy couple, and they said, "We've been married for 15 years. Yeah, it's not perfect, but we've grown together. Marriage gives us a sense of legacy." That is how they were describing marriage. They said that marriage gives us a sense of legacy. So to them, they feel like they are they rightfully belong to each other. They feel like they were meant to be with each other. So that is a take as well about marriage. These ones believe it gives them a sense of legacy. And there is a divorced couple that I talked to as well that said, one of them said, "I rushed into marriage 25 years. At 25 years, he got married. We weren't aligned, and it cost us both years of happiness. Would I do it again? Maybe, but I'll do it very differently." That's what he said. So guys, you can see there is one who said it gives us a sense of legacy, and there's another couple that I met, another lady that I met who had gotten divorced after some time of marriage. She said she got married at 25, and she says we weren't aligned. So guys, when we get married, we need to look for that right person. It doesn't matter how long it takes. The thing is, we have it in our head that we have to be married at this age. And anyone who comes, you just settle. You need to take time. Pray about it. I would say pray about it. Why? Because God would lead us to that missing piece. Can you imagine? Even shoes come in pairs. Earrings come in pairs. These lips you have are two. The eyes are two. That means there is someone for everyone out there. But the thing is, we go looking with the wrong kinds of lenses and we end up with the wrong kind of product. And we end up in the wrong place with the wrong people, with the wrong, until we divorce or separate. Now, marriage is work. Marriage is work. And like I said earlier, you make it what you want it to be. If you want it to be a bed of roses, you inject in time. The thing is, there are people we look at who have been married for 25 years, 50 years, and we're like, oh my goodness, those guys have made it. I wonder how they did it. Well, it took a lot of work that probably they are not talking about. It took a lot of forgiveness, a lot of patience, a lot of choosing to forget, and a lot of also keeping quiet about some things. Because if you don't, and you talk about everything, your marriage will break up. If you are not patient, it will tear. It will crumble if you're not forgiving. Because we are bound to hurt each other somewhere along the way. Because remember, these are two different people that came from different places, different backgrounds, and meeting to make one thing work out together like this. Now, because that's the way it works, guess what happens, guys? We work and make sure that before you get married, look at things that are beyond what you see today. Because if I have a pretty face, you cannot wake up and eat a pretty face. Guess what? If all I have is beauty looks, and I can't even cook, you'll get tired of me, and eventually we'll part ways. But again, working together, trying to lift each other up, we tend to look only at the faults that the partner has, and we are giving up on marriage, guys. I hope no one gives up on marriage just basing on what has not worked out. If that is the person that you chose, and with the right lenses, you loved them, you cared for them, you wanted to spend your lifetime with them, because I take marriage as being sacred. You wanted to spend your life with that person, and so guess what you did? you committed with them. Not everyone walks down the aisle. It is a scary state having to walk like in Uganda when you're getting married. Oh my goodness, especially we have what we call the introduction ceremony, okuhinjira or okwanjula. My goodness, there is so much drama. You come in dancing, you change clothes, you greet the first time, greet the second time. There's a lot of things that are entailed in that. Now, for you to be bold enough to walk down and go through all that, really, this person has to be special to you. So before you commit to a person, make a list of things that you want, realistic things. Leave alone these things. I want a six pack. I want big boo boos. I want, these realistic things. I want a person that we can connect on all levels. Anytime you're getting a marriage partner and you're aiming so high above what your level is, you will always be tippy toeing trying to reach them. Always. And anytime you get someone too beneath you, you'll always be stooping too low and your back will end up aching because you're going for a person who is so beneath you. Some people have a habit of going. So, like when I give an example of too high above you, you go for someone who is, maybe a pilot, and for you are a school teacher. Such relationships work, but sometimes you're not reasoning at the same level. He's always out of the country. You don't understand the dynamics of going on trips. He's a surgeon. You are a cleaner. It's okay to get such people, but that is going so much above your level. You are always going to be trying so hard to reach them. And then there is also another step where you get someone who is so beneath you. So beneath you because you feel like this one won't give me any headaches. She knows nothing. I will tell her whatever I want and she will just do. I will be able to get away with so much. You stooped low. You deal with the back trying to reach them. Because anytime you're talking about things, they don't click. They don't understand. Why? Because you went for someone way beneath you. And then again, there are these people who get people who are they are right fitting. I love such couples. You can tell when you see them that they complete each other. They all came with some reasonable money. They all came with the same goals to work in life and make it big. They all came with the same level of education. Such relationships tend to work out. But there are those ones which are really too ambitious, if I may put it. Someone too beneath you, you're really being ambitious, trying to get this person to be up to your level. Because once they get to your level, they run. I know of a lady who a man educated through college. And after she had graduated, she was like, you are not anything close to what my dream man is. I found someone in college. I found someone in at the university because he educated her from secondary level through college, university, and until she completed. And then when she was done, then that's when she saw the man was beneath her. So don't try so hard to get someone who is beneath you. Get someone up to your level. And trust me, that marriage will have a chance to stand. But when we aim so high, when we go so beneath ourselves, you are a lawyer and you're looking for maids to marry. You are a lawyer, you're a doctor, a surgeon, and you're looking for someone who didn't even go to school. Why? I don't know. Because that kind of person won't understand that you're doing night duty today. She'll be like, I think he's got other women. Even when for sure you're working and you have no time to come home because you are a surgeon, you need it sometimes at night. They won't be able to click that. And if they do, they'll make up something for themselves to cope. And they'll either tell themselves lies, you've got another woman, you're always out at night. So let me find myself someone who will be there. Now, that is what has caused many marriages and many relationships to flop because we get people who are not up to our level. I hope if you're looking to get someone who suits you. Don't go so low, so way above you. Like you're always trying to look up and reach them. You're always trying to please them. Oh, they are too beneath you, always trying to explain, trying to get them into your world. Get someone up to your level. That is why God, when He was creating for Adam, He got from the rib. Why? The rib supports. The rib is right in the middle. It's not at the head where, you know, it's you're always having to aim to get to it, or it's not at the feet that He got Eve from, where you can always trample on this woman, but got her from the rib because the ribs support. So your woman should really be this support system that you have that will always be there for you to support you as you support her. But if it's the other way around, then things are going to end up to where we are today. Yeah. And I also talked to this divorced woman, and she said that honesty is real, and I think a lot of people watching can relate. That's what she said. Let's talk about how marriage is changing today. We see open marriages. That wasn't a thing in the past. What we call open marriages, well, we are married, but you're free to see other people on the side. Now, that is something that is going on now. Was it there before? No. Guys, it's a live chat. I need to hear your thoughts on this one. What do you think about open marriages? Are they something that works, you think, that would help a marriage? I mean, is marriage still worth it? That is the topic of discussion today. I need to hear who is watching and where you're watching in from. Uh, Lillian says, Mary, please, let's contribute to the live stream constructively. Thank you, Lillian. Mary was really lashing out. I don't know why and to who. Thank you, Lillian. I hope you've got home safely. And also, I hope you are going to let us know your thoughts on marriage. Is it still worth it? Is it something that people should strive for? Or is it something that people have handed in towels about? Yeah. I was talking about open marriages. Yeah, I don't understand the dynamics, guys. You can let me know whether you are for it or not. Where we are married, but we are free to see other people. Now, that wasn't a thing that was open to any relationship where you are free to see someone else, I'm free to see someone else, but we are married. But that's a new thing now. And there's also the long distance commitments, even living apart together couples. Living apart, and then sometimes you're together. You live in Jamaica, I live in Uganda, and then once in a while you come, maybe 3 times a year, but we are married. There are those couples as well. What does that tell us? Is marriage still worth it? Because we have molded it into something really new that wasn't the case before. And I think it is what is increasing the divorce rate now. There is someone that I talked to that says it shows that people want connection, but on their own terms. Marriage isn't dead, it's evolving. This person is called James. He said that it shows that people want marriages, but on their different terms, whereby we are married, but it's an open marriage. We can always see other people. Or we are married, but you live in Jamaica, I live in Uganda, and we meet up twice a year. We still do marriage that way. So that's what James was saying, that it shows that people want connection, but on their own terms. Marriage isn't dead, it's evolving. In other words, it has just changed, but people are still married. Let me know what you think on marriage. That was James's thought on marriage. And society hasn't fully caught up. There's still stigma around people who don't marry or who do it the non-traditional way. Why is the thing? Why does society look at people who do it the non-traditional way differently? Do you think marriage should evolve to fit modern lifestyles? It's a live chat, guys. I need to hear from you. Do you think marriages should evolve to fit the modern lifestyle. Dina, you went dead on me. I hope you are okay and I hope your power is still on. And you can answer this, or Rogers, or Lillian, or Cedric, or anyone that is watching for that matter. Mm, Lillian says, I think an open marriage is a disaster. Yeah, it is. It's an understand you can't even comprehend it. Why? Because why would we be married if we are free to see other people? We might as well be friends, and just be friends and keep it that way. But people go ahead and get married and then open to see other people on the side. I agree with you, Lillian, on that one. And Dina says you skipped some comments. Um, Cedric says, how would you define marriage? Because I think the definition keeps changing. Marriage to me is two people who have found each other, who are complementary. This person that you feel you can't do away with, that completes you, that puts your heart to rest, whether you have or you don't have. To me, that would be marriage. And you're willing to take it to the next level, to go to the parents and settle down and wish to spend the rest of your life together and let the world know that she or he is the one. To me, that's marriage. If you are married, because to me, it has to be really in church. It has to be in church. Why do I say in church? Because I'm a Christian. It has to be in church. It has to be gone through all the protocol observed, especially if you're African and there are ceremonies that need to be done to honor the parents. For that one. And Cedric says, no, Cedric says, yes, you skipped Dina's comment about Solomon. No, I read Dina's comment. Oh, okay, there are some comments that I skipped. Lillian said, Mary, is everything okay? Yeah, Lillian was wondering. I was also wondering whether Mary was okay. She was really going on about so many things. And Lillian says, Mary, it seems you are not following the live stream. Are you all right? That's what she wanted to know. And Cedric says, talk about Dina's last comment about Solomon. I'm trying to find it. Oh, he said, I actually addressed that one. He said Solomon had 300 wives. Happy, or if so, he wouldn't have got the 700 concubines. And he ended up saying that under the sun, all is vanity. Yeah, like I actually addressed that comment. I was wondering which one did I miss. And I said that Solomon, we women are not supposed to be that many in a man's life. We become this headache that is constantly pounding you because we are not considerate. In the moment I get to know you have someone else, I, for one, don't want to share. So I'm a bit selfish. Now, if I know there's someone on the side, guess what I'll do? I will ask for whatever I want demandingly. And at the end of the day, the love will be lost because I'll not be thoughtful of you. I'll not be thinking about you. I'll be thinking about myself and my kids that I've had with you. So Solomon, I think, had those headaches. But can you imagine Solomon had those many ladies and had only 3 children? God is really something else. He made sure that kind of seed doesn't go round like he had intended it would. And so he had only 3 kids. But many women, you can't have more than one because us women, the moment we are fighting for someone who will go all the way. I will bring in the witchcraft. I'll bring in the poisoning of the brain for the kids that have given birth to. All these things will come up, and before you know it, you'll be in a field where it's blazing hot. So that's what Solomon had. To me, no man should actually risk having more than more than one woman. It's disaster waiting to happen. I don't know about you guys. And Lillian says, I suggest we can skip Mary's comments. She might need one to be counseling, I think. Yeah, that's why I skipped her comments. She's really dealing with so much. I hope, Mary, you get well, and I hope you get help, because you must be going through a lot. I asked the question, guys, do you think marriage should evolve to fit modern lifestyle? I need to hear from you guys. Do you think it should evolve to fit modern lifestyle, or should we stick to tradition? Because the modern lifestyle evolves, prenup, it evolves. It evolves a lot of things. I talked about, they talk of open marriages, and yet they are married. It involves long distance commitments, even living apart as couples. So, has it evolved, guys? Do you think marriage should evolve to fit the modern lifestyle? I need to hear from you, because that would be interesting to hear what people have to say. And Nabawanuka says, nze mbuuza lwaki abasajja batya obufumbo? Yeah. Nabawanuka is asking, why is it that men are afraid of marriages? On here we have several men, guys. I need to hear from Cedric. Cedric, give your opinion on this one. Why are you men afraid of marriages? And on here is also Bruce. Bruce, why are you men afraid of marriages? Nabawanka is asking. And Jasper, why are you men afraid of marriages? Now, this is what I'll give as I wait for opinions from the men, or thoughts from the men. This is what I think men are up to. Men are afraid of marriages simply because they are financially impaired, or financially unstable, or unable. Once a man is not able to provide, they don't feel secure enough to risk adding some commitment to that, where they are responsible for a lady. That's what I think keeps men from getting married. And some men, again, men who are listening, guys, correct me on this. I think men are afraid of commitment or marriage because you are greedy. You want it all. You want to have this one, that one, those ones. You just want to have everything. That is why you're afraid of commitment. Now, if I've lied on that one, men out there, defend yourselves. Otherwise, me, I think men are afraid of relationships or commitments or marriage, like Nabawanuka has said, because they don't have money. And I actually say it in Luganda. Abasajja batya obufumbo kubanga tebalina sente. Tebalina sente ezirabirira amaka gaabwe, tebalina, kati batya okuwasa. Ate abalala balina omululu. Baagala okubanga balina buli mukazi ali out there, buli mukazi abagala omunene, omutono, omuddugavu, omweru, alina esente, alina kabina, alina amabeere, they are just greedy. So that's why, for me, I think men are afraid of marriage. But if I lied, men, you're out there, defend yourselves. Cedric, I need to hear from you. And Bruce, you came on among the very first people. I need to hear, why is it men are scared of marriage? This is Nabawanuka asking, why are men afraid of marriages? As the men come up and say, why you are afraid of marriages? Why are men afraid of commitment? Because most men, actually, I knew of a guy who kept on saying, I can never be responsible for another person. I mean, the moment the woman comes, the next thing she wants food, she depends on you for hair, her relatives, medical, and before you know it, she's pregnant, and then there's the kid. Oh, he was going on and on. But I think because he was not at a very good financial place. But the moment men have money, oh my goodness, they come full blast. They want to, approach anyone because then that is their front. They don't have to worry about how they look. What they have in their pocket is what counts. So once that is impaired in any way, men don't commit to marriages. That is what I think. But the men can correct me on that one. I need to hear, Rogers, if you're there, let me know. Why are men afraid of marriages? Are they afraid of marriages because of anything linear? And why do you think men are afraid of marriages? Dina, why do you think men are afraid of marriages? That is Nabawanuka's question. She needs to know why are men afraid to marry. Otherwise, I also was asking, do you think marriages should evolve to fit modern lifestyle, or should we stick to traditions? Traditions where should we stick you evolve to modern lifestyle where you're like, okay, now we are having open marriage. He can go see some other people, I can go see other people, or we can do long distance. You come by on the week, once a month, or two times a year, and that is considered marriage. Because there is also that kind of arrangement. And should we evolve to that or stick to the tradition that we know, where you get married, you leave your mother's house and stick to this person and try and make things work out between the two of you? I need to hear some answers, guys. It's a live chat. Let me know what you think, whether marriage should evolve to fit modern lifestyles, or should we stick to tradition? I need to hear what your take is. It's a live chat. Now, when it comes to finances, children, and legal realities, yeah, let's talk about logistics, finances, and kids. Marriage is still a legal contract, and that means benefits and risks. If marriage is a legal contract, it has benefits, but it also has risks. So that is also something we need to know about marriage. Marriage affects taxes, property, custody. I mean, we see all these rights and more. It's not just emotional, it's strategic. You need to understand the legal impact of marriage, because marriage has all those areas that it covers. The legal bit, where if you separate, property will be split. Where if you separate, the kids will be split. But I still go back to Nabawanuka's question. Why do men fear commitment and marriage? If there is any guys that are listening in, let me know what your take is, or what your thoughts are. Why is it you're scared to get married? That is a question from Nabawanuka. Why are guys scared to get married? I need to hear some comments from people, because Nabawanuka needs to get that out of the way. She needs to know, why are you scared? I gave my take as to why men are scared to get married. I need to hear from you guys that are listening, because it's a live chat. And don't forget, divorce isn't just emotionally painful, it's expensive. That is a part of the fear for many. So that is also one reason why some men don't want to get married, because they fear when it comes to separating, how things will get complicated, how you divide the children, who will keep what, what will go to who. So that bit, because marriage affects taxes and properties and custody rights and more things, is probably why men are scared to get married. It's not just emotional, uh, it's strategic. You need to understand the legal impact. If you don't understand the legal impact of marriage, then you just jump into it. But if you do understand the legal impact of marriage, then you take baby steps before you go into marriage. Um, there is the question, the culture and generational shift. Yeah, let's zoom out. In some cultures, marriage is still sacred. Like the Indian culture, marriage is sacred. I mean, they get you married to someone you don't know, someone you've never met, and you stay there. Oh, that is scary for me. You know, someone you've never met, someone you've never been with, someone you never knew, and they tell you today this is your husband, and you're supposed to stick in that marriage and make it work. Oh my goodness! Some cultures, marriage is still sacred. In other younger generations, uh, they are redefining relationships. In the younger generation, they are redefining relationships completely. I mean, the things they are talking about when it comes to marriage are crazy. That's why you hear open marriage, long distance, relate commitment, eh, because all those are in the younger generation. Things are done different. It's really different with the younger people. And even the way they date, it's really different. They date via, you know, these other apps that have never been known to be a way to meet someone, later on commit. Yeah. They call them the Gen Zs. The Gen Zs and the millennials. Oh my goodness. Those are delaying marriage. They are delaying marriage. To them, really doesn't make sense. And so I don't know whether because our generation has set the wrong uh, example for them, but the Gen Zs are doing it the wrong way. They are really delaying. Lillian says maybe they've been through disappointments. Maybe. I wanted to also hear from these men. Lillian may be right, they've been disappointed, but guess what? As they have been through disappointments, we women have been through disappointments. Oh my goodness. I'm not speaking just because I'm a man, but women have. I did an observation, guys, and most of the women that are renting, not in the apartments, very few are in the apartments because very few can afford them. But those that are in the apartments have been put there by men, and it's the men paying rent while they run families somewhere else. And you are the side chick, and so they keep you in an apartment. Once the relationship ends, you are out of the apartment because who will pay the rent? And so that kind of relationship also is unbalanced because you have to be on the good side so that this man can stay keeping up your rent and all your expenses. My observation was these renters that are out there, live alone the apartments. Most of the ladies there are single mothers. Single mothers. These men go out of their marriages and rent these houses for these ladies and start families with them and then abandon them. So if Lillian is talking about disappointments, we women have been disappointed, but we keep up the faith that one day I'll meet this man and I'll get married. Leave alone Mary, who kept on going about saying all this kind of, 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 of what. But women have been through a lot. Women have been through a lot, but disappointments have not kept them from wanting to be married. But men, I hope your excuse is not disappointment. And Dina says nowadays men fear responsibility, and that is so true. Because once you marry me, we women come with this mentality: what is mine is mine, and what is yours is mine. So, in that is the African mentality where you drain and milk the man until blood comes. You know, asking for money for hair even when you're working, asking for money for transport even when you've got a job, asking, and the man has to pay rent, buy, everything at home, pay fees if kids happen to be in the picture, maintain you, your relatives, your everything. So the men really, when they sit back as groups, as men, they are like, I think I'm not ready for that anymore. So they flee, they run. I know of someone who went to the shop to buy milk and never returned home. A man. Why? Because it was too much. I mean, you get in there thinking you be partners in a relationship, and then you get there only to find it's one man's job. It's one person supposed to do everything. So men, yeah, like Dina says, are afraid of relationships because of responsibility or commitments. They are afraid of commitments because of the fear of responsibility. And the fear comes because they don't have the funds to take care of what they are responsible for. Otherwise, I think men were made by God to really take on responsibility. Men gladly spend. I know of men who can give and end up with torn socks and boxers, but having given these women money to the last dot. So men are natural givers, but once they are fleeing away from that, it's because they don't have what to give. They don't have the money to give anymore, and so they run away from giving or the responsibility or commitment of marriage. Dina says due to today's trend, most men have resolved to homosexuality because they want free things like money. That is a serious allegation. I think if you're not gay, you can't just become gay because of money. You can pretend that you are, but you can't become gay because you want money. It has to be that you're in it. You feel it, you want it. But becoming gay to get money, oh, that is stooping so low, guys. If that's the reason, then shame upon our day, really. And Cedric says, oh, I'm glad Cedric has written. I was waiting for an opinion a thought from a man, because also the men can also try and highlight us on this one. Why they are afraid of marriage. And I hope Cedric is addressing that. She says, abamu bakyali boy, not basajja yet. In other words, it says some men are still boys, are not yet men. Men are not afraid of responsibility, money or not. He can be poor, but find a wife and work together to riches because because though poor, he's mature. That is some insight, Cedric. It is actually so true. I think we are demanding of these boys to become men and marry, propose, and get married to us when they're actually still boys. I think I agree with Cedric. I was waiting for a man's perspective on this one. I think some of them are really still boys, and we want to groom them and mold them into men, something they are not yet ready for. That's why they are not committing. So I hope now Wanukadis really answers you why men are not committing to Fumbo. Cedric has said some men bakyali boy and not men. And because of that, they cannot really commit and make those mature decisions because he has said whether money or not, they own up to their responsibilities and work together. So if you see a man running to the circles of no, I don't want to get married, it's because they are still boys. Give them some time. They will look for someone to marry without anyone pushing them. I actually know of a person who didn't want to ever get married or even have someone in his life. He kept on saying, oh, it's a lot of responsibility being a man, a husband. Do you know what it means to be answerable to someone? You're responsible for them. You have to make sure they eat when they get sick and all that. But right now, he's at a different place. And I think because he has grown over time, and now if he's looking forward to getting married and finding someone that matches his style so they can do life together. So I think, yeah, what Cedric has said is right. And Lillian says, I think the women are too demanding, very unreasonable with their demands. Mm, we are demanding. In Uganda, we have a saying that he that doesn't have money can never have good things. In other words, atalina sente tafumita chindazi. I mean, chindazi is something that we eat. It's made out of dough, and it's a delicious thing. But if you don't have money, you can never have the fine things in life. You can never have the good things in life. In other words, that's what we are trying to say. And women, we want someone who would take us out of our misery. I've met several ladies who keep on saying, I want someone to take care of me. I'm tired of paying rent. I'm tired of buying for myself clothes and being responsible